In this video we're going to look at percentiles. You might remember when you were younger, in primary school you might have done a test and you might have got a result back and it might have said you were in the 70th percentile. Okay? Let's say if it was a maths test. Well, if you were in the 70th percentile, that means you did better than 70% of everyone else who did the test. Okay? Likewise, in this example, a child was in the 80th percentile in a maths test. But that means that child did better than 80% of the other people in the test. Right, so the best thing I can do to teach this is to do 3 questions, okay, and it'll be self-explanatory after that. Now the first question says, find P60, which is the 60th percentile. What that means is find the number that's bigger than 60% of the rest of the numbers. Okay, so let's look at this data here. Let's say this is a class and they do a test. And there's 24 students in the class, and these are their results. Okay, so they have 48%, 64, 76, etc. And we're looking for P60, the 60 percentile. So we're looking for the result, or the score, that's bigger than 60% of the rest of the scores. So the first thing we do is we write out the data from smallest to biggest. Okay. So here I have listed the data from smallest to biggest. Right. And I want to know this question: what one of these numbers, okay, what one of these percent is bigger than 60% of the rest of the numbers? Okay. Here's how I do it. I look at 24 numbers, okay, because there's 24 numbers in the data, so I'd say 24 numbers, and I want to multiply that by 60 over 100, which is 60%, okay? So I want to get 60% of the way into that data, okay? Or another way of saying it, if I start here, I want to go up through the data until I get 60% of the ways into it, okay? Right, if I go 24 multiplied by 60, it's 14.4. Right, now what that is the 14.4 number. Right, now here's a rule: if we get a decimal as our answer, we always round up. Okay, always. So even though it's 14.4, usually you would round down to 14. Okay, if you're rounding the normal way, but in percentiles we always round up. So it's 15. So we're looking for the 15th number, the 15th biggest number in the data. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there we go. So our answer is 72. What that is saying is if you scored 72, you would be in the 60th percentile, or another way of putting it, if you scored 72, you would have done better than 70% of the people doing the test. Okay? Right, let's keep going. Find the 57th percentile. Find the 75th percentile. So, we go again. So there's 24 numbers, and we multiply it by 75 over 100. And in this case we get 18. Now, so our answer here is not a decimal, right? So we don't have to round up or down. Here's the new rule, okay? If it's a whole number, we look at the 18th and 19th. So basically we look at that number and we also take the next number, so the 19th number, and we get the average of these numbers. Okay. Right, so I'll explain to you. So we're going for the 18th number. Well, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There's my 18th number. But look, it's a whole number I got, so I also take the next number. And I get the average of these. and the average of these will be one number plus the other number, and divide my answer by 2. Okay, just getting the average. And just a coincidence that the average of 76 plus 76 is actually just 76. Okay, so what that is saying is if you scored 76, well then you would have done better than 75% of the people doing the test. Okay. Okay, so the last one says if Sinead scored 74 in a test, find what percentile her score is. What that means is if she scored 74, what percentage of people in the test would she have done better than? Okay, so she scores 74. So here it is. So all these people she's done better. Okay, so let's see how many people she did better than. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So she did better than 16 people out of 24. So all I want to do is change that to a percent. Okay. And that is 66.66%. Alright. And in percentiles we don't deal with fractions, okay, or sorry, we don't deal with decimals. So that's 66.66. So we don't always round up on this, we just round normally. So this is 76. Okay, so she's in the 67th percentile. So basically if she scored this 74, she would have scored better than 76% of the people doing the test. Therefore she'd be in the 70. Sorry, why am I saying 76? If she scored 74, she would be after scoring better than 67% of the people doing the test. Therefore she'd be in the 67th percentile. Okay, thanks.